Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, gentlemen, both for being here. As you know, I'm a relatively new chairman to the Gaming Oversight Committee, and I want to personally thank you for the education that you've provided me with so quickly on the operation at the Gaming Control Board. And I've learned a lot and really have grown to appreciate quickly the job you do and how you do it. And I'm very keen on listening to the questions that come before you today. What I wanted to talk to you a little bit about now is our newest venue, and that's the Tavern Gaming. And you did talk about the numbers. There's a new budget line item so that we hope you are adequately covered for the expenses that involve the investigations and so on that fall under your purview. And it was allotted, you know, for what do we look at, maybe 500 investigations this year and another 1,500, based on the projection of 2,000 licenses. So that would beg the question for the group, where are we in numbers of applications or ongoing conversations getting to the point that will generate those licenses at this point?
Wow, that's a wide open question, Representative. We are certainly at the very, very, very beginning from what we hear. We have received 2 applications from LCB. I believe LCB has received 5. They may have had to send 2 back because they weren't complete, or 1 back because it wasn't complete, and they are working on the others. So the numbers so far aren't great, but I think we have to remember that this just began the 27th of January. Certainly there seems to be a lot of interest in it. Our agency, along with Revenue and Liquor Control, as you, I'm sure, know, undertook public meetings in 7 parts of the state that were very, very well attended by tavern owners, hundreds of people at all of them. So there is great interest. I think there's also concern expressed and felt by tavern owners, and there's hesitation for a lot of these entities. They are small, you might call mom and pop type businesses, where the burdens placed on them may look great, and it wouldn't be surprising if tavern owners, now that they have the information, are going to look and see, think, and decide, is this something we want to get into? And I wouldn't be surprised that, in fact, I expect that the number of applications is going to increase. It will pick up speed, and I think as it picks up speed, tavern owners in an area seeing their neighbors doing it will feel, hey, I've got to get in on this too. So I guess the bottom line is it's so early right now for such a new, brand new, and relatively complex type of activity that I think we all have to give it considerably more time. I really do.
I recognize that, and you know, with the frozen tundra outside that we've been dealing with for months, I imagine their revenues probably have been even less, and thinking about expanding and taking on anything when they're probably looking at that bottom line very closely. So I understand that. But there's another aspect I wonder about too, and that is the conversation that we alluded to earlier, the possible expansion of anything in gaming, Keno being one of them, of course.
Right.
So have you had discussion, even with the governor's office or with administration, about Keno and the effect it could possibly have on something like the tavern games? I would assume if I owned a tavern or a restaurant and was interested in this, I'd be watching that myself and wanting to know more about whether I'd be included in an opportunity there. Would that be easier to implement? Would my bottom line be favored by each? Have you had any discussions on that?
No, Representative, we have not. This has been an administration initiative from the beginning, and it's one that the Department of Revenue has been involved in. We've had discussions last year that on a few issues, but not on the nuts and bolts of what this is about, which of course is exactly what you're talking about. We have not, no.
Right. And we don't know either, and neither do the tavern owners. So while we're projecting 2,000 licenses, and there's a lot of reasons why in the very beginning things don't, go as rapidly as maybe we wish they would, I imagine there's potential for it, but I do think there's a lot of reasons why there's speculation on whether or not. And until we know that, we don't know it either as a legislature. But
Right.
I know you will have those conversations when we get close to that point.
I would expect so, yes.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.